Hey everybody, what's up? It's iCkEdMeL. Thank you for stopping by. Got a bunch of screens open. Sorry about being late. A couple minutes. Information was coming in, and I was trying to go through it as well as redact some information because, of course, the internet sleuths has found the guy in the hoodie. I'm not going to put his name out, not his full name or anything like that. And there is a clip that I found that I think I'm not sure, but I think police may be talking to him or somebody that was there, or they have spoken. I don't know. We'll get to it all. Got quite a bit to unpack, and I didn't get to organize my tabs like I wanted to. As much time as I gave myself before the stream, things just kept coming in, and just I'm all over the place, and ADD, blah blah blah. But thank you for joining me early afternoon. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll be back later as well today to cover whatever comes, whether it's an update to this. There's a new story that I'd like to cover. I just haven't had a moment yet. There's also ex-member AWP Kevin. He sent me the documents properly redacted. I don't know when we'll get into that. There's a lot. There is a lot. Let me just make sure Facebook's up and running. Okay. Okay, we're good. You guys can hit like. I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm scrambling. I'm all over the place. Okay. So we're going to be talking about the 4 murders, the Idaho college students, murder with a sharp edge. They believe the media is dubbing it like this Rambo knife, possibly. The coroner has talked and done some interviews as well. Let's just get started. I don't even know where to start because my mind is just all over the place. Look at that. Amazing. Perfect way to start. There we go. You got to give the computer a second to kick in. So there's a lot. I'm just going to start a little bit first with a mini recap from Reddit. Thank you to all the Reddit people and everybody that's sent me information via Discord, emails, people I know. And so these are the 4 victims, which, by the way, one of the victims, they're saying that put up a fight. I think they had defensive wounds or something. I think the father spoke. We're going to get into that as well. I also found, well, I didn't find this. Flossie found a lot of Reddit posts, and there was one of the persons that was a neighbor made a post. The other thing too with the person that is in the white hoodie, supposedly this guy had got kicked out earlier before he was seen on a video. He got kicked out of a club or something. We're gonna get into all that. I have screenshots. This is allegedly. Got a lot to cover. If you guys can hit like, please, it helps out the algorithm. Please hit like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications. Really helps me out. And so, okay, so the 4 victims: Kaylee, 21 years old, senior majoring in general studies, member of Alpha Phi; Madison Mogen, 21 years old, senior majoring in marketing, member of Pi Beta; Xana Kernodle, junior majoring in marketing, member of Pi Beta Phi; and Ethan Chapin, freshman majoring in recreation, sport, and tourism management, member of Sigma Chi. And I think he's the one that, like, in his family, he's a part of their triplets. And remind me, guys, too later that I don't forget to get into these screenshots that I have to show you guys. So Kaylee, Madison, and Xana lived at the 1112 King Road in Moscow with 2 other roommates. Ethan was dating Xana and was spending the night at the Roadhouse, King Roadhouse. Let me see. I can show you this real quick. I guess I could just use it here. Use this one. In case people were wondering about the inside, it's 6 bedroom, 3 bathroom, and I had an email from somebody that told me, well, the same thing. Yeah, 6 bedroom, 2 bathroom. It's a college town rental set up for multiple roommates. Again, it's college. The other housemates probably didn't get up until noon. And I forgot where I read. It might have been on this Zillow thing or somewhere. Home details. Okay, this is where it is. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom on each level. Okay, so it's a 6 bedroom, 3 bathroom, and it's 3 floors. 2 beds on each level, 1 bath on each level. And so this is what the place looks like. And supposedly, too, which we're going to get into, there's reports that Kaylee had a dog. And so people were kind of wondering, why didn't the dog bark? We'll just briefly touch on that as well. I don't know what's up with that. And I also wonder about the person that struggled and fought for their life. I wonder if that's what stopped this guy from going up to kill the rest of the people, or did he just want to kill those 4 people? A lot of people have been asking, why only these 4 people? Did he have a vendetta specifically against these 4 people? Why not the other people? Because the thing too about this place, which we're going to get into as well, so there was like no signs of forced entry. And I saw a post where they talked about something about the sliding doors. Okay, there we go. Here we go. So, see, this is my mind's all over the place. I normally like to have this synchronously organized so I can go tab by tab, but just work with me. Bear with me. No signs of forced entry, but door was open when police arrived. Nothing at this point is identified as missing from the home. MPD believe it was a targeted and isolated attack. The suspect is still out there. And then somebody asked for further clarification. I apologize for nitpicking his words, but are we sure when he said open, he meant the door itself was physically open from the door hinge, or open like when someone knocks and you yell, it's open, meaning it's unlocked, come in? And so she replied, Amanda, and says that Aaron Schill told me this afternoon it was believed that the potential suspect came through the sliding glass door. So I have an image of that too. Let me see here. I didn't convert the image though. Let me see real quick. I'll show you guys this. Okay. Not the greatest, but just so you get an idea. I don't have time to convert this or look up the article. The sliding glass door. Okay. But again, there appears to be no signs of forced entry. And it says here that is an important distinction to note. I think most people assume the door he was referring to was the door in the photos. That's what I thought too, where the cars are parked. So when they arrived, the door was open. And so I guess they're referring to, the sliding glass door. And the other thing, what I was going to get to as well, is that thank you for Lol Holly in the chat. One of the clips we're going to watch, they talk about they had a door code to get into this place. I don't know if that applies to the sliding glass. I don't know. But supposedly a lot of people knew that code in the area. And it's possible that, I don't know if this was a party house. A lot of people knew about this place. This person, I'm guessing, knew the layout, knew exactly where these people were at, felt comfortable. I mean, the place, from the pictures that we saw the other day, where there was literally blood dripping and coming out of the foundation, So probably not for the sliding glass, what the chat is saying. And so did the person come in through the front and leave through the back, like the sliding glass? But why? Maybe, and that's the other thing. With the amount of blood, there was a clip that a friend sent me, and the person made a point of saying that this person probably would have been covered in blood, right? That much blood. The door code was only for the front, Gene says. Okay. It's just like a layout. I wish we could have got like a virtual tour type of thing. I looked at a couple of sites and there was no like video virtual thing, Let me close that out. So, okay, just kind of quickly going through the timeline. 11/12/2022, which that was Saturday, 8:57 p.m. Kaylee's last Instagram post with all her roommates and Ethan inspecting the time on the Instagram post yields a timestamp of 4:57. Dylan, roommate, commented, "I love you," 8:58 p.m. Maddie commented, "My faves," at 9:15 p.m. Xana commented, "You're the best," 9:21 p.m. At 10:05 p.m., Kaylee commented on Ethan's most recent Instagram post, why do you look 12 in all of these? Can't read. According to the Latah County Police Chief, 11:16 press conference, Xana and Ethan went to a party and Kaylee and Madison went to a bar. Now, Kaylee and Madison are the people that we see in that video, which, by the way, there is a clip of the guy from the food truck. A small little clip Inside Edition interviewed him, and he said that he did notice the guy in the hoodie as well. And he was kind of, I don't remember the words verbatim, and we're going to listen to it, but I thought he said like stalking or lurking kind of thing. I don't know. So we'll get into that. Maybe 11:55 p.m., Kaylee and Xana at the Grub Truckers food truck Twitch stream. Video timestamp, that actual timestamp they appear is an hour and 54 minutes in. 11:55 p.m. time assumes the truck opened at 10 p.m. per usual, and that Twitch stream started right when they opened, since they appear about 2 hours into the live stream. Some think that Kaylee and Xana, some think this is Kaylee and Xana, others don't. I haven't seen any confirmation in the news, other news one way or the other. Leaving here for now so folks can take a look. 11/13/2022, 1:45 a.m.ish, Kaylee and Madison at the Grub Truckers food truck. Same Twitch stream linked above. Video timestamp appears around 3 hours and 43 minutes in. And based on the Google Maps, which I pulled this up, they talk about the distance and that it would be about 23 minutes, a 22-minute walk, 22 to 23 minutes. I have that over here. So they believe the food truck might have been around here, Garden Lounge. This is the university, and this is the house. So walking distance, about a mile. Let me slow down a little bit too. Time of death, the police believe was around, according to the press conference, they got home around 1:45 a.m. This seems inconsistent with the above food truck timing. Either the timestamp assumptions are wrong or LEL's law enforcement timeline is generalized, which I think it could still line up. Time of death between 3 and 4 a.m. on 11/13. Kaylee, Madison, Ethan, Xana were killed with an edged weapon such as a knife. In addition to the victims, 2 roommates were home at the time, both unharmed. 11:56 a.m. call to service regarding an unconscious individual. Which a lot of people were wondering about this time, but some of the people are saying it's a college town and the kids are probably sleeping in late. The other thing, and I almost kind of want to wait till we get to the video clip because I'm trying to remember verbatim. I believe there's a video clip, and maybe I should just play that next, from Good Morning America, where they state that the 911 call did not come from the roommates. Let me just play that next. Let's just jump to that first.
College students in Idaho. The FBI is joining the manhunt for the killer as investigators return to the crime scene looking for any new evidence that could shed light on the mysterious killings. Mona Lange is in Moscow, Idaho.
VT says latest autopsy, they died at 2 a.m. So it would have been probably right as they got home from the fruit truck, I guess, if that's true. I have to take a look and see.
With the latest. Good morning, Mola.
Well, good morning, Michael. Police say they believe this was a targeted attack. Now, it's been nearly 1 week since that attack, and still no arrests, no suspects, and police warning the potential threat to the community still remains.
New clues this morning as police search for a killer following the gruesome deaths of 4 University of Idaho students at an off-campus home, 2 roommates surviving. Overnight, A family spokesperson for one of those roommates telling ABC News exclusively the young woman is traumatized and working with the FBI. Idaho State Police telling ABC's Kana Whitworth the two surviving roommates have been very cooperative.
Talking with them to figure out what occurred and why. That's their story to tell. Potentially they are witnesses. Potentially they are victims. We want to protect
potentially they're the key to this whole thing.
Exactly. Potentially they're the key to this whole thing.
ABC News has learned the survivors did not make the call to 911.
And so multiple reports had said that it was a friend. I had heard this from probably one of the first days I think we covered this. But I was still confused because I was like, well, maybe the friend is a roommate. Like I wasn't clear. So this is clear. It's not the roommates that were there, but it was a friend. And so it's separate. I don't know how that came to be. Did they walk up to the property to say, check on him, say hi? And I guess the roommates, they're saying they are cooperating fully. So I guess, were they sleeping the entire time? I don't know.
Which came in several hours after the murders.
Many of our witnesses and people who knew these folks or were housemates are not in town. And so the investigators are having to go wherever they are to try to interview them.
The county coroner releasing the autopsy, confirming all 4 victims were stabbed to death, saying she believes a large knife was used, but it has yet to be determined, quote, whether there were any defensive wounds. At the home on King Street, the Idaho State Police crime lab at the scene, looking for any new evidence. Authorities asking local businesses if anyone has recently bought a fixed blade knife.
Hi.
Welcome back.
And that's a smart thing to do too, I guess, checking to see if there's any new purchases for knives. And the news and everybody's talking about this food truck clip.
This video from early Sunday morning helping investigators piece together a timeline. Kaylee Goncalves and Madison Mogen seen at a local food truck, laughing and taking pictures just hours before they were brutally murdered, along with Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin. Meanwhile, fear growing in the community as police follow leads.
No one has been ruled included or excluded as a person of interest and or a suspect. Everyone is still being investigated.
I think a lot of people are afraid, and I'm definitely nervous.
Abigail Spencer, editor of the school newspaper, says there is more police presence, but campus is eerie and many students have gone home.
There's still a suspect at large. There is still so much we don't know about the case.
I saw Tammy's clips in the comment section, and she said that the surviving roommate made a statement. Check the community tab. So let me just pull her community tab up. Thanks for sharing. Let's take a look at this. Is this a real statement from surviving roommate? So why didn't they make the call? So yeah, I don't know if this is really this person. I haven't looked into the surviving people and verified this account or anything like that, but so just, allegedly. Well, first off, we heard Xana and Ethan come home first and talk to them. They were both drunk, and that's when we went to bed. We live on the 3rd floor, which that is where the other roommates were, and always lock our doors to prevent people from stumbling into our rooms. We're used to noise because it's a party house, and that's what I've heard from multiple people or online. It's a party house. We were up late that night and didn't come downstairs until noon. Makes sense for the call, I guess, when the cops came to investigate. We came downstairs and we saw bodies, oh God, bound and gagged and blood everywhere. So much blood. We didn't make the phone call. We didn't know who did. So that's odd. Well, but they're saying it's a friend, and I had heard, because they really haven't given details about what happened. He's like, well, the coroner talks a little bit, very vague. But I had heard rumblings and rumors that it was gruesome. Like, just, I don't know. Bound and gagged. Okay. Let's keep it moving because I have a lot to show.
Well, the coroner telling ABC News she believes each victim was stabbed multiple times. The state forensics lab now conducting tests on potential DNA evidence found at the scene that could take weeks to analyze, Michael.
Modalengi, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Okay. I think this would be a good clip. I'm trying to think in my head where I want to bounce to. We'll do this. There's quite a bit to go through, but this is from News Nation. And let me read the caption. Latah County Coroner Kathy tells Banfield that the University of Idaho student murder victims were found in bed, and it's likely they were asleep, which this other person, the roommate, says they were bound and gagged. I mean, was that in the bed then, or were they moved? I don't know. It's likely they were asleep, which is the only thing that I can think of why maybe nobody else would have woken up or anything, is that they were snuck up on, and each one while they were sleeping. But check this out.
It was late at night or early in the morning, so it seems likely that maybe they were sleeping.
Were they found in separate areas of the house?
That hasn't been disclosed yet.
And that's the thing. I thought I heard that they were on the second floor, but they haven't really disclosed, like, were they all together or what? Because there's 3 levels to this place, and I had heard that supposedly they were on the 3rd floor, the surviving roommates. So I don't know if everybody was on the 2nd floor or were some on the 1st floor or what.
Can you tell me, when you say that they might have been sleeping, were they found in beds?
Yes.
And so can you tell me if there were
Yeah, unless they were bound in the bed, I don't know. But they were found in their beds.
multiple stab wounds per victim, or were these sort of, individual lethal stab wounds that may have been less in number but more in lethality?
There were multiple stab wounds, yes, on them. So, and
were there? Go ahead.
And most of them had just like one that was the lethal.
So that, I don't know, that verbiage is kind of interesting, that they had multiple stab wounds, but it was one that was really that was like the lethal one. And so I'm thinking in my head, just trigger warning for people if they're going to be, but I'm wondering if he did a lethal attack first so that they wouldn't make noise, and then did other multiple stab wounds. Because the thing is, too, if it's multiple stab wounds, they're not specifying how much, that kind of goes with the whole rage thing. There was one article that talks about it. We'll get into that later. Even though there's argument and debate whether it was a crime of passion or just, targeted, whatever, or maybe all the same. But to me, that
just like one, most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound. And most of them had
in lethality.
There were multiple stab wounds, yes, on them. So, and
were there? Go ahead.
And most of them had just like one.
Thanks, Diamond. Hey, what's
that
up?
was the lethal stab wound. Yes.
So, I mean, some sneaky coward shit. Obviously, this person did. But then to continue on after, if that's what happened, I don't know. It shows, I would think, like anger or whatever, rage, possibly, like the people are talking about. Again, I'm no expert, just my little thoughts.
Can you describe what that one might have been?
But they were to, the fatal ones were to the chest area or the upper body area.
Were there, and I only ask this because it sometimes determines what kind of a crime this was, a crime of passion, a random crime, a fight, a struggle. Was there, were any of them slashed? Were any of their necks cut? Or were these all puncture wounds?
Well, it was a pretty large knife, so it's really hard to call them puncture wounds. And they were definitely stabbings. And it has to be somebody that's pretty angry in order to stab 4 people to death.
Wow. I don't know if there's a full clip of that somewhere. Somebody has it, send it to me, but that's the main point I think to get across there. The other thing is this conversation about Kaylee's dog. Chief Fry says Kaylee's dog has been returned to a secondary owner because people here were asking. So 2 other roommates were there, heard nothing. Supposedly one person knifed to death 4 individuals, including a guy. Not making too much sense. And per a tweet below, there was a dog. And so this is what they're talking about. And so people are kind of wondering, I guess the dog didn't wake up, and obviously the dog's alive. I'm not sure what kind of dog it was. This was yesterday. Activity at the house today. 4 University of Idaho students were killed. Seeing people wearing gloves, moving boxes, and some equipment inside. And there are now red markings stuck to the glass sliding door in the back of the house. Again, the whole sliding door conversation. Oh, this is super interesting, man. So, let me see if I wish I had the. I have to show you guys the video, maybe for the people that missed it. And so, I had seen a post like this in 2 places. So somebody on Facebook DM'd this to me, and then Flossie sent me this tweet as well. And so there's a person saying, my friend is in the beard. He says that was just his ticket for his order, and he had no idea who that guy was and assumed he was with the girls. He had no idea they were potentially being stalked, which we're going to get more into that because there's one news clip that said that the police were talking to the guy in the background, but they didn't specify the guy with the hoodie. I'm assuming so, but we'll get there. I just want to show this. This same person here, just to corroborate. So this was on Facebook. This is the thing that was sent to me. A lot of times I kind of sit here in the mornings and I crowdsource information from everybody that's like helping out. So thank you. And so Philip here was asking at the hour 19, 1 hour 20-ish mark, dude in the hoodie hands a piece of paper to the bigger dude with the beard. Then the dude with the beard reads it, looks up and points to the girls when they promptly leave. When dude in hoodie promptly follows, what was on the piece of paper? And that's when they respond. My friend is in the beard. He says that was a ticket for his food order. He had no idea who that guy was and assumed he was with the girls. Had no idea they were potentially being stalked. I'm gonna play you the I don't know if they're referring to the big guy or the guy. Oh, I'm blocking it. My bad. I don't know if they're referring to the big guy right here with the beard or this guy here. They both got beards, but I'm assuming they're talking about the person that was talking. They were talking together. And that's the vibe that I got from that whole thing, is that I don't even think they really knew each other. And the way he motioned and stuff, it seemed like he just assumed that this guy was with the girls or whatever. You know? At the very end, he just seemed like he kind of got the big dude, right? Yeah.
Order 85. Thank you.
Can I do the big burrito? But I'm going to be really picky. I'm so sorry. Can I get it with that? The chipotle slaw?
Yes. Yes, you absolutely
and
can.
Then without the onion salsa?
No salsa.
And do you guys have sour cream?
So this person's answering about that person for people that needed that context. They showed up with that guy, if you watch. Let's see what else I got for you guys. Okay. We might as well talk about it. One clarification that I wanted to show before we get further. I think it's this one. There was rumblings going around that it says Moscow Police Department has told Idaho Tribune reporters that the individual seen in the above street camera footage, I guess I'm going to say, is not ex-boyfriend of the deceased. So people were saying that they thought that the guy in the background was like the ex-boyfriend or something like that. So they said it's not. The ex-boyfriend has been cleared. Now, the other thing. Let's see how we get into this. Code the sliding glass door. I want to get into Inside Edition. This here.
Were the four college
And we're happy to be joined this morning by
Were the four college kids brutally murdered with a knife like this one? It's called a Rambo knife. It's got a 7-inch long blade. You can see part of this steel blade is serrated. Detectives have been going to sporting good and other stores in the area to ask if they've sold a brand like this made by K-Bar. The actual murder weapon has not been found, and police are searching dumpsters.
So yeah, we still don't know the suspect because some people were asking that. Nobody's caught. The guy's still on the loose, whoever it is, guy or whatever.
Hoping to find it. The mystery deepened when police revealed the shocking information that 2 other roommates were inside the house when the 4 students were slaughtered. Published reports identified the roommates as Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk.
So that matches up with the name that I believe Tammy showed us. Again, you know, I can't just go by name to have to actually, if I had the person's account, I would go verify their account, but the name does match, so it's plausible, you know.
Funk, both 21. Have they lawyered up? Are they concerned about being questioned? Are they cooperating?
It's my understanding that they're fully cooperative with investigators.
The local police chief says cops weren't called until 9 hours after the murders.
You have surviving witnesses to an incident at 3 or 4 in the morning, and the 911 call didn't come until noon?
I don't think I ever said that they were witnesses. I said they were there. So, you know, we don't know why that call came in at noon and not in the middle of the night. Well, I'm not going to go into what they shared that night.
This is the house where the murders took place. There's a keypad lock on the front door, but friends say many people knew the code. Around the back of the house is a...
That's the important thing too. And that's the whole thing too. We're talking about the front door, the sliding door, and the keypad code, and that apparently a lot of people knew that code. So would have access.
They shared that night.
This is the house where the murders took place. There's a keypad lock on the front door, but friends say many people knew the code. Around the back of the house is a sliding door, which may have been unlocked. The house is large, 6 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Police aren't saying where in the house the 4 bodies were found. In a day of fast-paced developments, the manager of a food truck popular with students says he
this is the guy from the food truck. He actually spoke to Inside Edition.
Remembers victims Kaylee Goncalves and Madison Mogen ordering food at 1:30 a.m. Sunday. That's only about 2 hours before they were murdered. He also noticed a man who appeared to be watching them, as seen in this video.
It seems like a guy arrives similar to the same time that they do. It seems like he almost looks exactly at the camera and then puts a hat on and pulls his hood up and then starts moving off to the side, and then is hanging around the truck, seems interested in them, and then leaves around the same time that they leave.
Police have not named any suspects, but are walking back their controversial claim that there is no threat to other students at the University of Idaho.
We cannot say that there's no threat to the community. And as we have stated, please stay vigilant, report any suspicious activity, and be aware of your surroundings at all times.
A handful of students held a vigil at the campus gates last night. Many have fled the campus.
Please stand and join us in a moment of silence.
The slain were also remembered at a University of Idaho basketball game last night. Kaylee Goncalves' sister, Autumn, warned other students to leave. If he is sick enough to murder 4 sweet, innocent humans so brutally, he's sick enough to do it to anyone.
So, I thought that was interesting. A couple of things, and I just want to. I feel like there was a clip regarding this guy that I closed out my playlist. Open it up again. Let me show this. So again, this is Reddit talk. Don't do any kind of witch hunt or anything like that. And so, you know, Reddit, I guess already they found who this guy is, right? And they've like identified him. The thing I thought was interesting, and I did see a clip that police, I guess, were talking to him and, you know, he's cooperating. supposed to get another. Okay, here we go. And let me see if I got this. Okay, thank you, Flossie, for redacting that for me. Let me just add this to the list. I wanted to show this one first. Just briefly check. Okay. So this one first. And they're talking about this guy. They're saying that this looks like this is Jack. Kid is into hunting too, which means he owns hunting knives. If he really was kicked out of the corner club that same night for being creepy, then he is definitely someone the cops need to talk to ASAP. His mannerisms in the video are off. I just have a feeling Gray Hoodie had something to do with this. Also, yes, his hair may look darker in the video, but I've taken classes on color theory, and even very blonde hair can look brown in certain dark lighting. Where did you look to see he was into hunting? I've tried looking him up on Facebook, but his account only shows up one photo. I found the photos very strange. If it is him in the video, because he used a similar knife to hunt as the one Ellie are looking for. So every picture I've seen of this Jack kid, he has long hair, and the guy in the video has short hair. I guess he could have recently cut it, but his hair though. How did you find this pic? Blah blah blah. There's another post that I wanted to show here, and this is somebody else. They're having conversations about him on Reddit. And let me tell you something about Reddit too. Like, of course, you have to be careful taking information from there because you don't really know who's who. But back in the day when I used to use Reddit content, I don't really much so now. I may one day, but I used to live stream Reddit content, the videos. We would literally be sitting here watching videos that people are directly posting before it even hits the news. And many times we were talking about these videos and topics before the news even made it. And then literally the next day or in the morning, the news is talking about it. So sometimes you get some really interesting, insightful, firsthand information, but you have to be careful, and take things with a grain of salt until you can confirm. But this person here says, I know Jack personally, he's not a good person, but I've not once seen or heard him talk about his interest in hunting. His dad's a big elk hunter. That doesn't mean anything, especially in Idaho. And then person say here, what do you mean by hunting? Or it must have been other conversation here, hunting brutally. But from the screenshot, it looked like the animals were gutted, like he took out anger on them too. Like blood and carcass exposed, etc., like mutilated. Just in case you care, this is the dude. So there's a whole, I'm going to take a look at it later. I don't want to like open the thread here on stream without even, having the time to go through everything, redact everything. So at another time, I'll just look at it by myself. Okay. Couple of things. Okay, let's talk about this. She's a tough kid. Avondale father says University of Idaho student killed, fought her attacker. We're learning more about the young woman from Avondale found dead with 3 roommates in a house off campus at the University of Idaho this past weekend. Arizona's family talked exclusively with her father. She didn't really worry about the drama and stuff that much. She was never into that. She just liked having fun, never about materialistic things. He was too distraught to be on camera. So let's just listen to this video.
More about a young woman with ties to the valley who was found dead with 3 roommates in a house near the University of Idaho last weekend.
Sarah Robinson talked exclusively with her father in Avondale today. Still so many questions, Sarah.
Yes, a lot of questions. Xana Kernodle was raised in Idaho, but she spent time here in the valley since her dad moved to Avondale a few years ago. He describes her as fun, smart, and strong-willed, and says it's impossible to imagine she was killed in the worst homicide police say they've ever seen in this small Idaho city.
She didn't really worry about the drama stuff that much.
Yeah.
She wasn't into that. She just liked having fun, wasn't worried about materialistic things. She was with her friends all the time.
Avondale father Jeffrey Kernodle, who was too distraught to be on camera, remembering the life of his daughter, Xana, one of the victims of the brutal stabbing at the University of Idaho, leaving 4 college roommates dead on Sunday.
I heard from her before we went out, I think midnight. This is the last time I heard from her, and she was fine.
The murders happened early Sunday morning, rocking the small town of Moscow, Idaho, which hasn't had a murder since 2015, according to state records.
I have no idea. It doesn't make sense.
He says Xana was in constant communication with her family, and nothing about that night seemed unusual.
The door locks with the number code. Every time you open it, like I had to go around the house to get in the house because of the number code. So
I wonder if they could, I don't know if there's any like chip data in there or something that these people, I don't know if they could send it to the company or, you know, they could get a timestamp of maybe when that person came, if they came through that door, came in after the girls were in.
they either knew that or they just kind of went around and found the slider open.
A father struggling to understand how this could have happened. Why Xana?
They were just hanging out at home.
Yeah.
Xana was hanging out at home with her boyfriend.
Two other female roommates, Madison Mogen and Kaylee Goncalves, were killed along with Xana's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, who Jeffrey loved.
Her and Ethan were together about a year, give or take some, whatever, but she really, when I went up there, it was I saw her just,
No. I don't know. We're going to have to watch this video. So, Nicola, I see you in the chat. You kept telling me to check my DMs. And you said Facebook. Says, hey, Mel, the sister of Kaylee says her sister made 6 phone calls to a person named Jack between 2:26 and 2:44 a.m. Let's check that video next.
A week before that, she changed a lot. She
I don't
had
know.
a life. She got to see what it was to have a boyfriend to live with and have a real life, and she really turned around and was being really responsible, helping him out into the studies and stuff. I was really impressed.
Kernodle says there's one thing the autopsy shows for certain. Xana, a strong-willed girl, fought her killer until the very end.
Bruises and maybe hurt by the knife or whatever.
So they're saying she had I guess bruises from the knife. I'm guessing defensive wounds. And so she was actually trying to fight this person off.
She's a tough kid. Whatever she wanted to do, she could do it.
A very disturbing case.
I just wanted to share that. We're going to get to this next clip as well. Listen and do it properly. Okay. All right, so let's check out the clip. I have it saved on this playlist as well. I think this is the one she's talking about. Let's see.
Citizen sleuths across the U.S.
Yeah, that's the one. Inside edition.
Their attention on the brutal slaying. Citizen sleuths across the USA are focusing their attention on the brutal slayings of 4 college kids.
How do you kill 4 people with a knife?
We're learning about another strange detail in this case.
My most immediate question is, where's the suspect?
Dozens of websites and postings from armchair detectives are springing up, and some of the best-known lawyers and detectives are offering their own theories about what may have happened.
Interesting how 4 students can be overcome by one person with a knife, not a gun.
Olivia Goncalves isn't waiting for police. She's tracking down her own leads to find her sister Kaylee's killer.
We're not getting any answers, and we're not going to settle for that. Hi.
It was Olivia who found the potentially crucial video of her sister and Madison Mogen at a food truck just
Olivia found it.
Hours before they were murdered. She also
Olivia, I think, right? How does it pronounce?
Hours before they were murdered. She also tracked down their Uber and Madison Mogen at a It was Olivia who found the potentially crucial video of her sister and Madison Mogen at a food truck just hours before they were murdered. She also tracked down their Uber driver.
I found neighbors' Ring camera footage so that I can verify that the Uber driver took her home.
She's also raising questions about why her sister called a young man
took her home.
driver.
I found.
She also tracked down their Uber driver.
So they had an Uber driver. I saw somebody mention that in the chat earlier too. Ooh, okay.
I found neighbors' Ring camera footage so that I can verify that the Uber driver took her home.
She's also raising questions about why her sister called a young man named Jack.
Bro. No.
Multiple times the night she was slain.
Oh, no. I mean, they could just be friends. They could just be friends, but oh. I'll rewind. Looks like this Jack kid is into hunting, which means he owns hunting knives. If he really was kicked out of the corner club that same night for being creepy, then it's definitely some of the cops. There's a video clip too. I'm gonna try to find it after we'll replay this. That supposedly I thought they said was talking to cops or something, but they said person in the background. I'm assuming it's him, but I don't know. It could be the guy with the beard or something. We'll have to play that clip. But it's interesting. 6 times. I wonder how long were those calls? Were they short calls? Were the calls not answered? What time were those calls made? Was it close to the deaths or way before? Or like, you know, was it? I don't know. So we have an Uber thing. And then we also have somebody named Jack.
Madison Mogen and a food truck just hours before they were murdered. She also tracked down their Uber driver.
I found neighbors' Ring camera footage so that I can verify that the Uber driver took her home.
She's also raising questions about why her sister called a young man named Jack multiple times the night she was slain.
At 2:26 a.m., Kaylee starts to call Jack. Kaylee calls Jack 6 times between 2:26 a.m. to 2:44 a.m.
Gosh, I give you a lot of credit. You're almost
Bruh.
like a detective here, putting all the pieces together. I spoke with retired detective Phil Waters, who had a 96% clearance rate on homicide cases when he was with the Houston police.
There's no doubt that this is a person who is filled with a type of evil that is incomprehensible.
There were 2 other roommates in the house who walked away from this. How is that possible?
The use of an edged weapon is going to prevent any kind of real sounds that would awaken the other 2 girls. If this person, and it appears...
Somebody said maybe for help? I don't know. Yeah, who knows?
To be they are proficient with an edged weapon, the deaths would have occurred so quickly that there would have been no opportunity.
Somebody said, criminality, hey Mel, there are 2 Jacks and a Jake. There's 2 Jacks and a Jake.
For them to cry out.
The part here, well, she says Jack here. I mean, it could be a different. So you're saying it's a different Jack from the guy that they're talking about on Reddit? Oh, Lord. A guy named Jack. So who's Jake? Oh, Lord. Well, I don't know. The person being referenced is a Jack. I'm not going to say the last name or anything like that, but on Reddit, they're referencing a Jack. And in this video, they're referencing a Jack. Could there be multiple Jacks and Jakes and whatever? Maybe. Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I mean, the Reddit thread, they're specifically talking about a Jack. I mean, that's not to say that there can't be another Jack in the story or something or whatever, but you got to do better redaction next time. Better redaction job. That's not a great one. A little bit better. And then here in the video, they're talking
raising
about
questions about why her sister called a young man named Jack multiple times the night she was slain.
At 2:26 a.m., Kaylee starts to call Jack. Kaylee calls Jack 6 times between 2:26 a.m. to 2:44 a.m.
Gosh,
Well, somebody said Jake is her ex-boyfriend. Well, the ex-boyfriend, I showed it earlier. I don't know if I still have the post up. Ex-boyfriend was cleared, though. Damn, I don't have it anymore. Oh, I have a screenshot, actually. Because people were looking into the ex-boyfriend. And according to this report, I didn't know the guy's name, but the ex-boyfriend has been cleared. Interviewed ex-boyfriend, and he has been cleared. Ex-boyfriend, they're saying the guy in the footage is not the ex-boyfriend of the deceased, and the ex-boyfriend has been interviewed and cleared. All right. Yeah, that was a really interesting video. And Kaylee's sister's put it in work. I think she's doing good, because sometimes I've seen in cases, you got to take action, because I mean, you don't want to mess anything up, but it seems like she's putting things together and putting information out. Let's listen to this video. The lead prosecutor of
And we're happy to be
Idaho.
joined this morning by Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson. Mr. Thompson, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Police there have called this a targeted, isolated attack. Are investigators looking for a particular...
Rob K says, how many people were cleared, but yet were actual murder or questioned again months or even years later? Yeah, it's true.
Suspect or suspects this morning?
At this point, the investigators are looking at all possibilities. They don't have a specific suspect. They're continuing to work on that.
Do you believe that whomever did this is still at large?
Yes, we have no one in custody, and the police have been unable to identify who's responsible for these homicides.
Is it possible there's more than one suspect?
BL tells me Jack is Kaylee's boyfriend. Okay. Jake, oh Lord, is Maddie's boyfriend. Jake S is supposedly from the food truck. Okay. So there's a Jack, that's Kaylee's boyfriend. Okay. Yeah, there's a Jack. I'm told there's a Jack, that's Kaylee's boyfriend. A Jake, that's Maddie's boyfriend. And then the Jack S that everybody's talking about at the food truck. So I wonder, see, now we need more clarification with regards to Kaylee's sister, which, that's what criminality was talking about, I guess then. Which Jake, confusing here. Which Jake was Kaylee calling? Whew. Okay.
It certainly is possible. That's the purpose of the investigation. That's why we're really hoping for any information from the public.
Exactly, I agree. GoFindMe says, yeah, sister would have said 6 calls were boyfriend. She did not. Right. I'm thinking, we'll listen to the words again after this clip. I don't think it would be that Jake. I don't think it would be that Jake. I think they're talking about a different Jake.
That can help the investigators recreate everyone's activities Saturday night and early Sunday morning, and hopefully give them the leads, the information to identify who did this.
There's so many things about this case that are so hard to put together. Veteran police officers who arrived at the scene said it was one of the most horrific and gruesome scenes that they had ever seen. Yet somehow there were 2 roommates who were in the house who apparently didn't hear.
And I think I said Jake, I meant Jack. Bro, I'm so like, this is too much. The guy from the video is Jack. Oh my God. This is like, so Jack is Kaylee's boyfriend. There's a Jack that's Kaylee's boyfriend. There's a Jake that's Maddie's boyfriend. And there's a Jack S. Maybe I should just put S. Jack S from the food truck. All right.
Anything. What are the red flags you have there, and are those roommates considered persons of interest?
Well, anybody who might have knowledge is considered persons of interest at this point. As far as suspects, I don't believe so. The investigators continue to work hard trying to interview everyone who might have any information and hopefully figure out and identify what occurred and why and who's responsible.
As we understand the timeline, and we recognize that this is an investigation very much ongoing, the 4 came home, early in the morning, Sunday morning, let's say 1:45, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. The 911 call didn't come until midday the next day. Does that raise any red flags for you? How do you explain that?
I think the investigators are trying to ascertain why there was a delay and what actually occurred, what was heard. That's a question that's still out there, and I know they're working on that. We're trying to assist them as much as possible with obtaining search warrants for data and cell records and social media and anything that might help.
Do you know who called 911? Can you reveal who reported this?
I can't reveal who made the 911 call. The police do know who made the 911 call, though.
Obviously, we don't know anything about motive, but the mayor did initially refer to this crime as a crime of passion. Why did he say that?
I can't speak for Mayor Betke. To my knowledge, there is nothing to indicate that this has been determined to be a crime of passion. We know it's just a horrible crime, and 4 young lives have been lost.
And finally, initially, investigators and the police had said the community has nothing to worry about. Now they've sort of said, well, of course we should be vigilant because there is a suspect or suspects still at large. What is your message to that community this morning?
Well, I think the fact of the matter is that whoever is responsible for these murders is still at large. The investigators do not know who that person is. From what they've told my office, they believe that this was what they call a targeted attack and not just a random act of violence. And I think they tried to communicate that, but obviously that communication didn't work very well. It's unfortunate for any confusion in the community. People just need to be vigilant and help us however they can. We hope that we can identify who's responsible and get them off the streets as soon as we can.
We're sure your officers and prosecutors are working hard there. Thank you so much, Latah County Prosecuting Attorney Bill Thompson. Thank you for your time this morning, sir.
Okay, so I'll play that portion again, but and I got a Facebook message too where they're telling me. Yeah, I don't want to put, I just want to be careful. I don't want to put people's full name out there or anything like that. I see what you're saying. Especially during a live, I want to be careful. But, oh my God, you guys are in the chat. Let's listen to this again. And then I have a couple more videos to show you guys.
Video of her sister and Madison Mogen at a food truck just hours before they were murdered. She also tracked down their Uber driver.
I found neighbors' Ring camera footage so that I can verify that the Uber driver took her home.
She's also raising questions about why her sister called a young man named Jack multiple times the night she was slain.
At 2:26 a.m., Kaylee starts to call Jack. Kaylee calls Jack 6 times.
Jack.
A.m. Kaylee starts to call Jack. Kaylee calls Jack 6 times between 2:26 a.m. to 2:44 a.m.
Gosh, I give you a lot of credit. You're almost like a detective here, putting all the pieces together. I spoke with retired detective Phil Waters, who had a 96% clearance rate on homicide cases when he was with the Houston police.
There's no doubt that this is a person who is filled with a type of evil that is incomprehensible.
There were 2 other roommates in the house who walked away from this. How is that possible?
The use of an edged weapon is going to prevent any kind of real sounds that would awaken the other 2 girls. If this person, and it appears to be they are, proficient with an edged weapon, the deaths would have occurred so quickly that there would have been no opportunity for them to cry out.
And that's a good point to make for other people wondering, like, why, why there's no sound? How did it take out all these people? Flossie sent me this post from Reddit. Hopefully it's okay to show. I don't know. I barely looked at it, but go full screen. This guy says here, I'm the guy in the tan hat. I was just chatting it up with him, waiting for food because it takes a while. And he said he was their friend, making sure. They got home safe. He seemed nice and was funny. I had no idea he was lurking. We still don't know the whole situation, Someone on here has to know who those guys are. I haven't got to that side of TikTok yet.
Autopsies do confirm the 4 University of Idaho students killed last weekend were all stabbed to death. Police are still waiting on DNA samples in hopes of finding a suspect, and the impact is being felt all over the state. Students and faculty at Boise State University gathering to pay their respects to the victims on Thursday. They came with flowers and candles to offer condolences and show their support. Our Stephanie Haynes is live with the latest on the investigation. And Stephanie, this is just a sad story, and there are no suspects at this time.
Still no suspects, Adrian, and good morning to you. The coroner says these 4 students were found in their beds, stabbed multiple times. The university sent out a note late last night saying police maintained this was a targeted attack, but with no one in custody and little information, the families of the victims are demanding answers. This morning, a killer is still on the run following the gruesome stabbings of 4 University of Idaho students. Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Kaylee Goncalves. Kaylee's sister, Olivia Goncalves, spoke with News Nation's Chris Cuomo Thursday night, saying her sister was a go-getter and an absolute fighter. They have no idea why she was the target of such a brutal slaying.
There's nothing. There's no boy problem. There's no threat. There's no high-risk lifestyle.
Olivia says she provided police with this video of her sister at a food truck in the hour before she died and identified one of the men in the background who she says is cooperating with police.
That's the part that I wanted to emphasize too. Now, in this video, it says one of the men in the background. My assumption is that it was this guy, but I really don't know. Maybe they're talking about the tan hat guy. Well, let me listen to that again.
Of such a brutal slaying.
There's nothing. There's no boy problem. There's no threat. There's no high-risk lifestyle.
Olivia says she provided police with this video of her sister at a food truck in the hour before she died and identified one of the men in the background who she says is cooperating with police.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they purposely didn't say who it is, or the guy this hat or that hat, or why. I wonder why they wouldn't specify. But
Police say Kaylee and Madison were at a downtown bar, while Ethan and Xana were at a party before they all came home to their off-campus apartment early Sunday morning and were attacked sometime around 2 or 3. The 911 call for an unconscious person came in at noon. Police say 2 other roommates were inside the apartment home at the time, unharmed.
I do know who they were. I have not spoken to them. They were my sister's roommates. Obviously, I know who she lived with.
Olivia hopes someone will come forward so she can get her sister and her friends justice.
We're losing critical time, and I want more coverage. I want more done. I understand that we can't release information.
No weapon has been found, but a local hardware store says police have come by asking about a specific brand of knife and if that was sold to anyone recently.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
Spiffer says, sister says hoodie guy has been contacting and is cooperating. Okay. Where did you see that at? Yeah, she's doing a good job, the sister.
We're continuing to cover this story from every angle. Grace Anderson is joining us right now. She's a high school friend of Kaylee Goncalves and Xana Kernodle, and she's joining us live from Boise, Idaho. First, so sorry for your loss. The pain of this, I can't even imagine. But we have the video of a couple of your friends. At least I know that Kaylee was there at the food truck. Do you know who all is in this video?
Just Maddie and Kaylee, yes.
Okay. And you were very close with Xana. When was the last time you spoke with her?
I would say this summer. I mean, I would talk to her over Snapchat every once in a while, but this summer was like the last time I really got to talk to her.
Do you have any guesses as to who could have done this?
No, that's up to the authorities to disclose with everybody.
Okay. Have you been in touch with the authorities? Have police questioned you and other friends, hopefully trying to get some more info and piece this together?
No, but again, like I said, I'm mostly here just to speak on behalf of Xana and Kaylee and honoring them, as well as Ethan and Maddie.
Well, what would you...
So until further notice of the authorities...
Go ahead. I apologize.
Just until authorities have disclosed what has happened. I know no more information than anybody else does.
Okay, so what would you like to say on behalf of your friends?
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how to start something like this. And I want to preference that Xana, Maddie, Kaylee, and Ethan were not just victims, but were family, friends, and loved ones to not only myself, but all of those affected. I'm saddened to be speaking on behalf of them today, but hope to share some of the good because I was lucky enough to have known these two beautiful girls, despite the fact that they were so much more than what my words can describe of them. But Xana was just such a light, and she was lively, tenderhearted, so bubbly, and a humorous girl that I think that we could, all of our friends and family could second. As far as Kaylee, I didn't know her as well as Xana, but she was someone that when I went to the university was always checking in on me, making sure I felt welcomed and seen. Just sorry.
It's okay. When we think about this story, you know, a lot of college students, they go out, they have fun, you know, they might have a late night, they might go out till 12 or 1 in the morning, not surprisingly coming home in these middle of the night hours. For this attack to happen, do you want to clear the air with anybody watching at home? Were your friends into hard partying? Were they, you know, someone who hung out with the wrong kind of guys?
Absolutely not. No, they were always very careful, always took the necessary precautions to be safe, staying with each other, you know, always traveling with somebody or in groups. They were loved by everybody. I can't think of anybody who would have an ill thing to say about them or
wish them harm. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right. Well, we want to thank you, Grace, for being here this morning, and strength to you and your heart, and to all of the family members and friends of these girls and Ethan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find news.
Let me see if I think I played that one. Gypsy was saying play the other Inside Edition clip. Did I have another one on here? Oh, I didn't play did I play this one?
Were the 4 college kids brutally murdered with a knife like this one? It's called a Rambo knife. It's got a 7-inch long blade. You can see part of this steel blade is serrated. Detectives have been going to sporting good and other stores in the area to ask if they sold a brand like this made by K-Bar. The actual murder weapon has not been found, and police are searching dumpsters, hoping to find it. The mystery deepened when police revealed the shocking information that 2 other roommates were inside the house when the 4 students were slaughtered. Published reports identified the roommates as Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, both 21.
Yeah,
have they lawyered up? Are they concerned about being questioned? Are they cooperating?
It's my understanding that they're fully cooperative with investigators.
The local police chief says cops weren't called until 9 hours after the murders.
Yeah, this one I played already. Let me just make sure. Oh, this, I think we.
So we turn to our Amanda Rowley, who has been at the crime scene all day today. She shared with us earlier that there has been a lot of activity there today. So Amanda, what have you seen today?
Well, at this hour, the crime scene remains very active. This is the most active I've seen in the last few days. Right behind me, we have the Idaho State Police forensics team inside the house. And just within the last hour, I'm not sure if you can see from this angle, but we do want to give some privacy. One of the top floor windows, the blinds have now been open. We can see from a different angle some of the forensics team coming in and out, some wearing plastic white suits, taking photos. Earlier in the day, I did see some flashes, what appears appeared to come from a camera from inside the home. They're spending all day here collecting evidence and reassessing the home here. Now, earlier today, this afternoon, I did notice the back sliding door to the house was opened at one point today. Now, we could see red markings stuck to the frame of the door. Idaho State Police spokesperson Aaron Snell told me this afternoon it was believed that the potential suspect came through the sliding glass door. But again, there appeared to be no signs of forced entry. Now, he says, again, that forensic team is reassessing the house, looking for any door. But again, potential suspect came through the sliding glass door.
So they could have avoided the code altogether. They could have, I was thinking maybe they could have known the code, went in through the front and got out through the back, or they just could have came through the back, just slipped in.
But again, there appeared to be no signs of forced entry. Now, he says, again, that forensic team is reassessing the house, looking for any potential additional evidence. In the meantime, he gave me an update on efforts to recreate a timeline of events and how the public will be a huge help in this investigation.
We understand the public's frustration about not being provided a lot of information. We are working to the best of our ability to actually provide as much as possible. We intend to come out and solicit information from the public if they are within certain areas that we believe are of interest for this investigation. And so hopefully today or early tomorrow we will come out with a map where the victims were at specific times during the night and ultimately ending at their residence.
Now, we also confirmed today the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit is also assisting with the case. They do a variety of things, including crime analysis, create profiles of unknown offenders, offer investigative suggestions, and help with interview strategies there. And ISP is also expecting FBI command vehicle to arrive in Moscow to provide more workspace and additional resources.
This is a little small town, too. I think I read 25,000. And I saw somebody in the chat earlier was asking about, do you think they'll release the 911 calls? And I was talking to Flossie about this earlier. It said, she had said that the roommates did not make the 911 call, which we saw on video. And the cops said they would not release the call or the ID of who called. So I could only imagine what's on that 911 call or who called. They said it was a friend, but, we don't know which friend or whatever.
For the investigation. Now, at this time, ISP says the roommates who were at the home during the attack but were not injured are cooperating with investigators. And right now, they are not suspects. They are not considered persons of interest. But ISP says no one is being ruled out in this investigation. Tonight, Snell is insisting that no one has been cleared from this investigation.
So this was some 17 hours ago. And the thing is, with the whole no one has been cleared thing, it's kind of weird because it's kind of like, well, there's people that are cooperating, right? Maybe we got to hone in on the words that are being used. But the one post that I saw from this Twitter that had a verified media thing, they had said that the Idaho Tribune, Moscow PD has interviewed the ex-boyfriend. He has been cleared. Okay, so over here they say he's been cleared. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but I'm just kind of like saying he's cleared. But then over here, I'm saying nobody's been cleared. I mean, people are cooperating and stuff like that, but like, I just we should be, we don't want people going out and saying, yeah, this person's clear, this person's clear, this person's clear.
Not injured, are cooperating for the investigation. Now, at this time, ISP says the roommates who were at the home during the attack but were not injured are cooperating with investigators. And right now, they are not suspects. They are not considered persons of interest. But ISP says no one is being ruled out in this investigation. Tonight, Snell is
no one is being ruled out. Okay.
Insisting that no one has been cleared from this investigation.
Okay, because I feel like I've heard people say, "Oh, this person's clear." Even I said it because I went off of this tweet from Idaho, whatever, that the ex is cleared, and so there's a difference between cooperating, fully cooperating, I guess, or and cleared, which I don't have any reason to believe the roommates. Because I see people saying that, and they've already said it's not like a murder suicide thing, but Yeah.
Giving a quick look back here at this, again, a very active scene with forensics team on scene. Now, just in
the whole neighbor thing. So, well, let me let this play. I'll show the
last
screenshot.
hour, we did get an update from the Latah County Coroner's office. She weighed in a little bit more on that report that we received with the cause and manner of death. She can't speak right now to the defensive wounds. She doesn't know if the victims were asleep and the time of death.
That's true. iCkEdMeL says cops already messed up, saying no reason to feel threat is out there. Mistakes will be made. Yeah. I don't know why they were saying that, and they kind of walked it back, which is what the news said. Kind of walked it back because a lot of the students over there, they're like, well, I don't want to stay around here. They're saying that some of them are leaving, or a lot of them have left. I don't want to be around here to find out.
She says was sometime early in the morning. Again, they can't specify exactly what time of death because Kathy Mabbitt says it was reported many hours later. And at this point, the coroner says there is no way of knowing who was attacked first. We'll be keeping an eye on this scene through the rest of the week. For now, we'll send it back to you.
And so there's no way of knowing who was attacked first?
We'll be keeping an point. The coroner says there is no way of knowing who was attacked first. We'll be keeping.
They can't specify what time of death.
Mabbitt says it was reported many hours later. And
because that's the thing too. I was kind of like, maybe if they were able to tell who's attacked first, I don't know if it was just, okay, this is the first person they ran into, or the person that they actually hated the most, or for some reason, I don't know. Okay, the poll says, how many people do you believe are involved in the 4 murders? 61% say 1, 33% say 2, 6% say 3+. I think it's one person, in my opinion. I think it's just one person. I know that's like hard to fathom, maybe one person doing those killings like that. The other thing too, that there was a serial killer, and I'll show you the neighbor thing too. There was a serial killer, I forgot the guy's name. And there was a story about it because he had snuck in the window, I think, or something, and he was going to go kill these kids in the room. I think it was 2 kids in a bedroom. I think they had a bunk bed. I don't remember this killer's name. And when I think he woke up one of the kids or something. Or he went to sliced one of the kids' throat, but the kid survived. Something like that. And the other one like woke up or witnessed it or something. And I think the guy ran off. I forgot what serial killer that was. No, yeah. Shelly says the couple weren't at the taco stand, right? Maybe it was someone they knew. Yeah, the couple, which so I have Ethan and Xana were at a party. Ethan and Xana. And yeah, let me show the neighbor thing. What I have it here, because I have to head out in a bit, a couple minutes. Reddit post. Okay, so this is somebody that claims they live right next door. They didn't have much to say. I DM'd them. I'm not gonna ask anything, pertaining to whatever, but I was just kind of wondering because they live next door. Says, I live literally right next door. I'm one of the closest apartments to the scene. There were several cops and even state police here. There was even a big trailer that they brought full of equipment. They went around and questioned several people, including myself. The trailer and most of the cops are gone. The place is still taped off. And I see what looks like one sheriff's vehicle parked in front of the place. Whatever did happen, it is absolutely horrifying. And I can only imagine what their parents have been going through. That's all I saw. There might be more posts, but I'm going to have to scan it after the stream. Thank you. Thank you, chat. Tommy Lynn Sells. Yes. That guy. That weirdo. Let me see. Is there anything else that I wanted to show? I'm sure I probably missed something, but we do this one
now to new details.
I think we got everything. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting like, I'd appreciate that. It helps out the stream and the algorithm tremendously. If you or subscribe. Thank you so much for coming through. We're gonna be definitely keeping an eye on the story. It's super weird. Horrible, tragic for his parents, these young kids. Somebody just sent me an email. Hey, would you check this out? You can see the floor plan of Idaho house. Huh. Huh. This is interesting. Oh, this one has like. Let me see. Let's show this before. Everybody knows. Don't leave when I say, "All right, we're leaving," because you know. Evidence for Kaylee's bedroom being on the top floor. One angle of the house, this door leads to the basement, which I believe, based on the floor plan, opens up to a set of stairs going up to the main floor. One angle of the house, the door leads to the basement. So I did hear there's a basement because somebody else emailed me as well. The basement is probably a separate rental from the rest of the house, but there is some sort of basement. So the door leads to the basement, which I believe, based on the floor plan, opens up at a set of stairs going up to the main floor. Zillow image of the room with the balcony on the top floor with sliding doors. Screenshot from one of Kaylee's TikToks that shows the sliding glass doors. Which, I mean, I don't know what room she had, but she could have gotten up to. She could have gone up to the third floor. Or it could be her room. I don't know. There's some super chats. I'll get them. I didn't even realize that. I think we had 3. I read one of them. This here screenshot from someone. Screenshots. Oh Lord, sorry. Screenshot someone took from Kaylee's Instagram of the good vibe sign. Trying to make it like a little bit less zoomed. Good vibe sign, okay. Oh, okay. And then this is photo of crime scene showing the other side of the house with the door leading to the ground level kitchen. And we also see Kaylee's room on the top level, the good vibe sign. Other side of the house. Damn, boy, these sleuths be looking into everything. Photo grab from another poster showcasing the different levels of the house, as well as where the blood photo was taken. Parking level, second floor, third floor. That's the blood. Caution. Graphic content. Okay. I think that's it for now. Thank you guys again so much for coming through. I'll read the super chats real quick as well. Cash, thank you for the super chat earlier. Kristen, thank you for the 12-month membership, 1 year. Thanks for all that you do. Thank you so much. Cheeky Cheeks, thanks for becoming a member. Criminality, thank you for the clarification on the names. Beautiful Disaster, seriously, there is right out of the following TV show. BL messaged me. Okay, the 340 timestamp. Former police chief gives a reason why there are limited details. Okay, let's check it out. Don't ever leave. Don't leave, man. When I say you gotta wait till like the actual stream is over. When I hit end. This is how it is sometimes when I'm about to stream and I'm starting. Like I start getting last minute information sometimes, which I appreciate it though. Thank you guys. I'm not complaining. Might come off like that.
Information about the case as some would like to know. You know, there's some things that only the people that were at that scene would know. And so you definitely don't want to release that information to the public.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Would like to know.
You know, there's some things that only the people that were at that scene would know. And so you definitely don't want to release that information to the public.
Gary Jenkins is the former chief of Pullman Police and now serves in that role for the WSU Police Department. He says sharing details is a balancing act, keeping people safe and informed without compromising the investigation.
Just trying to make sure that when detectives go out and interview people, it's based on what they know, not what they've heard on the news.
The University of Idaho told students this week they could go home early for Thanksgiving break if they didn't feel safe around campus, and many already have. Jenkins says that could pose a challenge for detectives trying to interview witnesses. It was for him during the hazing death of Sam Martinez, which also occurred right before Thanksgiving break in 2019.
Most of the witnesses left town, and that's the type of investigation you need to have a one-on-one in-person interview. And so it does definitely complicate that investigation.
Jenkins says the answers all of us want could take time.
They're trying to juggle a lot of balls in the air right now, particularly with 4 victims. It's going to be a very complex crime scene. It's going to be a complex investigation.
That was Kyle Simchuk reporting. Looking ahead now, the court.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I have to head out. Thank you guys so much again for coming through. I appreciate it. Hit like on the way out, please. We'll keep discussing this story. There's the other story I want to cover if I have time. I'm not good at juggling multiple things. I tried sometime, but we'll see. I want to try to cover that Robinson if possible. But we're definitely going to keep an eye on this as well, and as the AWP stuff. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Take care. Peace. Love you guys.